Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching. Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Mobile edition. I am in my vehicle bringing this quick preview of tonight's live stream and show for you tonight. I want to just say before I get started, a special thank you to my Patreon supporters, my channel members, and all of the folks who positively interact in all of my live streams. I greatly appreciate the interaction and all of the respect that is shown mutually. Respect is not only earned, but it's got to be given. So I want to say thank you to everyone who comes on all of these live streams and leaves comments down below and interacts. It is greatly appreciated, and that's what makes this community great. I want to just say quickly, I did a tribute 16-second short story thanking each and every one of you for subscribing to this community. Crime Time at DutyRon is everything from a police perspective. So we hit the 100,000. I think we're up to 105,000 subscribers. I wanted to say thank you to the new, to the old, and to the returning people who subscribe to this community. You are an instrumental part of what makes this thing great. So I tip my cap and I say kudos to all of you guys. I couldn't do it without you, because when I hit that go live button, it's important that I have an audience. And without an audience, you have nothing. So thank you for all the congratulations. I couldn't have done it, because you guys motivate me without you. I couldn't have done it without you. So you guys motivate and keep that fire burning for me to talk to you guys and give the police perspective and give you guys a good understanding of what goes on behind the scenes. And thank you so much for that super chat from Rita Schaefer. She says, love you, DutyRon. Love you right back. Love and respect. On a quick note, I went to my dermatologist 2 days ago, and I have a small spot on the top of my head here. It's a Band-Aid on it. He had to rip a chunk of my scalp out to biopsy it. He thinks it's squamous cell. That's right in between basal cell and melanoma. He last time did a little bit of a shaving off my nose here. I don't know if you guys could see it, but there's part of my nose that's missing with skin cancer in 2019. He predicted that when he did a small biopsy and said it was basal cell. That's the lowest level of skin cancer. And sure enough, I had it there, and I have it on my shoulder. But he told me 2 nights ago that I have squamous cell cancer on the top of my head without even getting the biopsy. So prayers for me. I greatly appreciate that. I'm always asking for prayers for everybody else. I'm hoping that it is not squamous, or I know I'm not saying it right, but I'm hoping it's not that, and I'm hoping that it's just nothing. But I appreciate the prayers and the positive vibes. Let's get into tonight. I am going to break down the hunt for Brian Laundrie. We all come to know this case with Gabby Petito, 22 years old, who was reported missing on September 11th by her family in Blue Point, Long Island. Brian and Gabby embarked on a van life journey on July the 2nd from Blue Point, Long Island. And it was supposed to be a whirlwind cross the country camping trip / road life in the van. And they were going to end up in Portland, Oregon at a friend's home, I think in late October, early November, and it didn't work out. We are going to break down, I'm going to have Ed Wallace. That is the detective who is a retired crime scene investigator. He's an expert in the field of DNA, evidence recovery, blood splatter. He has done it all. You saw him on the video that I did with Barbara Butcher. Ed Wallace is going to be my crime scene liaison, full-time, a part of the DutyRon Crime Time family. Ed has signed on with me to be a full-time consultant to give us, on all of the cases that we cover, the crime scene expertise that he has. And he is so into this, and I'm so happy that I could bring this to you guys, that we have Ed Wallace, who has he has credentials that are a mile long. He teaches across the country. He has gone to Iraq and Afghanistan and taught crime scene investigation across the globe. So I say this: it's a positive asset to the Crime Time with DutyRon community. And we're going to go over the Dirty Laundrie home. We're going to talk about why the FBI went there, what potentially they could have gotten, why they took it into custody, what are they looking for, and we're also going to talk and we're going to touch upon very briefly some of the folks that are getting involved in the hunt for Brian Laundrie, because we know he is a federal fugitive from justice. He's a fugitive from justice and wanted by the FBI, by the feds. When you're wanted by the feds, they throw the kitchen sink at you. And that doesn't mean that the U.S. Marshals, the Fugitive Recovery U.S. Marshals, the Fugitive Enforcement Division, they are some of the best at tracking people. And I don't doubt that the wheels of the U.S. Marshals, search and recovery folks, I don't doubt that they are not in or are ready tracking and trying to find Brian Laundrie. So we're going to get into it tonight about 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you mark your calendars. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Detective Ed Wallace and myself, we're going to go over the hunt for Brian Laundrie. We hope that this scumbag is brought into custody alive and not dead. I'm hoping that they don't find him and his remains. I want to find him and drag him in and bring him to justice and charge him for the filthy crime that he committed. And, you know, people are going to say, DutyRon, don't we have an innocent until proven guilty? Yes, I want him to receive his day in court. I want him to get his day in court. But I want that scumbag to be tried for the crime that I feel and that I feel across America and across the world. It's pretty goddamn, and excuse me, I mean, it's pretty gosh darn. I promised a few of my folks that I wouldn't take the Lord's name in vain. It's a pretty gosh darn good chance that he is wholeheartedly responsible for the demise of Gabby Petito. I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my detective sixth sense that there's no sidestepping this. Everything from the day that he drove away from Wyoming and took it upon himself to go home and lay his head down and go to sleep, knowing that his fiancée is out there over in the Grand Tetons Spread Creek area, knowing that he laid his fiancée, the love of his life, the person who he had committed to marry, and went home and went to sleep for 11 days. That's a real super piece of garbage. That's a human piece of garbage in my book. And you know what? I don't care what anybody thinks. This is my opinion, and I'm not here to please everybody and say the things that everybody wants to hear. I think he's a scumbag, and I'm being nice about it. It takes a rotten soul to do something like that. You know, you snap or you do something wrong and you take another human's life, you fess up to your crime and you come clean and you tell and you face the music. But he is cowardly. So being on the run, I hope and pray that he is brought to justice alive. Now, again, I want to just say thank you to everyone who is in the chat that I miss. There's so many of you that send super chats and that send kind messages. So I want to just make a blanket thank you to all of you guys. So thank you so much. People that consider becoming a channel member, I greatly appreciate that. Channel memberships are always great, because what I do with that money is I repurpose it and I send it out to some of the great causes that we represent. I am the law enforcement liaison for Midwest EquiSearch. That's the search and recovery a 501(c) nonprofit organization. They, Texas EquiSearch and Midwest EquiSearch, Dave Rader and Tim Miller. I'm honored to be a part of the law enforcement liaison with them, and I'm working hard with them behind the scenes to recover our missing, the missing that are out there, the folks that are hoping and praying that their loved ones are found. So again, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all one word, DutyRon. Yeah, this is a great jersey, the Notre Dame. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all one word, DutyRon. Go over to DutyRon.com and see all of the links. There's links to EquiSearch Midwest. I am selling the EquiSearch Lost Is Not Alone wristbands. They're $10 each, and I'm doing it as a fundraiser. You can send me a Venmo, a PayPal, or a Cash App payment. And just when you send it in to me, first make the request on DutyRon.com and let me know what you want. But if you want to support EquiSearch Midwest and buy a wristband, and all of the proceeds from that wristband, all of that $10 goes straight to them and straight to them finding missing. I just want you to know, on the Gabby Petito case, I could talk about this now because it's over with. But before they recovered Gabby Petito's body, I was on Messenger with Jimmy Schmidt. That's Gabby's stepdad. That's her other father. We don't even like to call him a stepdad. But I was communicating with Jimmy Schmidt, and I was communicating with Nicole Schmidt, her mom. And I said, EquiSearch is at the ready. And if you need us to come and search in Wyoming, we will come and search. And Jimmy's response was, Ron, we don't need you guys right now, but please be on standby for us. We may need you. And I told him, we are here for your family. So those are the kind of things that we do here. These are the kind of things that we do. And if you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, consider hitting the subscribe button. If you're new and your first time viewing, let me know in the chat if you're new just by putting a new in the chat. Angela Dawn, thank you for becoming a bronze member. Much love. Thank you. Hi, Scout Inquirer. Hey, Jen Lowe. There's one of my great moderators. Black Rose 11 is here. Jonna Johnson is here. Hello, Downtown. Thank you for being new. Lady is a Tramp is old, but she's new. Queenie is new. Thank you. Wow, a lot of new faces here. Hi, Cindy Brannon, new. Hello, Open Minds. You are always your long-time supporter. Hello, JD. Thank you so much. Tammy Cox, blessings to the family. Thank you. Thank you, Gloria Bear, for being new. Oh, Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. I didn't see a message in there. Oh, it was a super sticker. Oh, that's cute. Thank you. Thank you for the super sticker. Angela, thank you for being in here. That's Joe Murray's better half, Ange. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you. Hi, Ron Barfield, new. Thank you. Hi, Kathleen. Welcome. Thank you for being new. Elizabeth is right above you. Janine, thank you for being new. Hi. How are you guys? All right, guys. By a show of hands, who here in the chat watched my video last night? I made the video of the new body cam footage for two reasons. Number one, I thought it was important for us to talk about the second angle. Paul Peck Drywall, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a channel member. Paul Peck Drywall is one of my great friends. Everyone go check out his channel, please. Sarah sends in a $5 super chat, and she says, here's for your next F-bomb in the swear jar. This is an F-bomb kind of situation. I agree, Sarah. I agree. So last night was a tough one, and I did it for two reasons. Number one, I wanted us all to see the version, the different version. But once I heard the officer with the beard, and I don't know his name, once I heard the officer with the beard read off the actual statute and the things that he said about having a crystal ball and battered women syndrome, and how he talked about perhaps somebody being dead moving forward, that freaked me out, and I thought it was important that we all see that and talk about it together. I had no plans. This is how kind of dedicated I am to my community. I had no plans to go live. I had nothing set up. I had nothing prepared. I just hit live. I scheduled, hit a live, and I said, I'm just going to talk, and I'm going to wing it and see how we all feel. Now, there was some really disparaging and nasty and mean comments in there, not directed at me, but directed at the police. And I understand it 100%. I don't condone it, but I understand that we're all hopped up. And please hear me out here for a second. I respect everybody, and I feel that we all are entitled to be angry. We all are entitled to voice our opinion. We're all entitled to say, hey, shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I have to tell you, from somebody who did that job. Now, I didn't work in Moab, in Utah. I didn't work in the Grand Tetons. I didn't work in very rural areas. I worked in New York City, which was a very condensed, very high populated area. So we handled so many of domestic violence cases. There would be some nights when I worked patrol that I would handle 20 domestic calls in one night for one sector car. Me and my partner would handle 20 or more domestic violence calls in one shift, one tour as we called it. These guys are not used to seeing that volume. So I feel that yes, it could have been done better, but I feel that they took their time and they had enough where they had the time to read the laws. Most cops don't ever go and read the law. They took the time to go and read the law and look at what they had just so they would try to get it right. It doesn't mean that they got it right. But what I'm saying is that these men and women, I shared in the DutyRon Police and Crime chat group a picture, a video of two cops that were chasing a stolen car, and they stopped the car, it crashed. I shared it in Police and Crime chat group. Go over and watch it. A female and a male cop. And the male cop got shot, and he got shot really bad. And the female saved his life, or was trying at the scene to save his life. So what I'm saying is it's easy to Monday morning quarterback it, and I'm not here to bash police. If the police do something wrong, you guys know me. For those of you who have been here a long time, I talk about it. When the cop does something wrong, I talk about it. When what happened to George Floyd, I spoke about that. Most creators would sidestep that and not even speak about it. But I definitely spoke about it. But what I say is that I wanted you guys I wanted to see it together. I wanted us to see it together and talk about it. Now, I know all of you couldn't be there. By a show of hands, put a 1 in the chat if you were there when I did my live last night, and put a 2 if you didn't see it. But I think there's going to be a lot of 1s here because a lot of you watch it or watch the replay. So if you've seen that video, just put a 1. I think that there'll be more 1s than number 2s. But for those of you who haven't seen it, I will link it down below in the description here. Go and watch it. I was as fair and just as I could be to both sides. Now, I wasn't taking Brian's side. I wasn't taking Gabby's side. I was right there in the middle. But I was trying to make points that were points that were valid in that present moment. I wasn't trying to make points that are valid now in this time. I was trying to do it at real time when it was happening. And so I want you to understand is that the things that I was saying wasn't because I was talking about what the end result is that Gabby was murdered. We have a homicide on our hands. I was talking about what was happening at that particular moment. And I hope you guys understand that. So I didn't want anybody to get a difficult or a bad read on what I was saying or what I was doing. My overview and assessment. Pam, thank you for becoming a channel member. And let me say quickly, thank you to Kelmai for the $5 super chat. I appreciate those super chats, and I appreciate your engagement. So, I didn't get many. Blondie1025, always great to see you. Kelmai, thank you, Kelly. Thank you. I appreciate this. That's the super chat. Much appreciated. But I just didn't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I was more so breaking that down for what it was, face value. Now that we know what happened, our minds are all blown because we're thinking, oh, the police could have saved Gabby. And I would say this, a good 15 days went by after August 12th. Think about this, folks. Now, I'm talking to you from, calm and common sense. 15 or more days, because we don't know the exact day she was murdered, but that was the 12th. Fast forward to the 27th or maybe the 28th. 27th or 28th. I think those are the 2 days, but I'm almost certain it was the 27th, but we will find out. Over 15 days went by. They had 15 days or more of interactions back and forth, living out of that van. So how can we conceivably say and reasonably say to ourselves that if the police arrested one or both of them, that she would have still been alive? It's very hard to make that prediction. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. So we can always agree to disagree, Dina Jen 21 says, I always watch you, DutyRon. I might not always make a comment, but I'm watching. Much love and respect. Oh, Dina, thank you so much for that. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. So, again, I have much compassion and much, my heart breaks for the Petito Schmidt family. I love those people. They are great people. I met them. I went and paid my respects. I am just talking on face value of what was presented to those cops. Now, again, they don't have the experience of high volume domestic violence calls. They're probably dealing with campsite disputes, people that get drunk and disorderly, disputes amongst neighbors at campsites. They're used to dealing with stuff like that. Maybe speeding, as they talked about. Brian Laundrie was speeding. I don't think that they're doing a lot of domestics. 18 or 17 member department, that's not a lot of cops. Thank you, Annie, for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. So this is a preview for tonight's live stream. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I am going to be with crime scene unit expert, evidence collection expert, Edward Wallace, New York City retired first grade, that's the highest grade detective. And we're going to talk about the hunt for Brian Laundrie. We're going to talk about evidence collection, why the FBI went back to the house, how other people, like we talk about the Dog the Bounty Hunter on the case. We saw Dog the Bounty Hunter holding up a monster drink from a campsite. Ed and I are going to talk about how bad that is to actually pick up something that may or may not be a piece of evidence. We don't ever want to have anybody pick up anything at any potential scene where we're doing an investigation. Now, it doesn't mean a crime happened at that location, but if we could get DNA evidence off of it, you don't want anybody touching it. You want someone to see it, call 911 and say, hey, this is at the campsite. It might be something you might want to come and collect, and let them make the call. We don't want to collect it, or we do want to collect it. So nobody should be fiddling in this thing to try to find or solve the crime. He's a fugitive of justice from the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. I wouldn't dare stick my nose in it, and I don't care what kind of notoriety it would get me. For me, I'm thinking about the family, and I don't want to F up any evidence anywhere. I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to look at anything. And he could be armed and dangerous for all we know. He could have a gun on him, and he could be wanting to shoot it out with whoever tries to come get him. This is a job for sworn federal law enforcement. That's it. Not me, not Sergeant Bill Cannon, not Dog the Bounty Hunter, not John Walsh, not anybody. We need to know what our part is. If we see them, if we see these people, or if we see a sighting, your obligation as a good civilian and a citizen is to make a call to 911. That is it. Okay? If somebody makes a spontaneous utterance or says, hey, I know where Brian Laundrie is, you're not to go to that location. Your duty, as your civic duty, is to call the police and let them know. Let the authorities know. So, again, I don't want to get into that. We're going to touch on it. We're going to touch on it very lightly about Dog the Bounty Hunter, I don't think that he's got bad intentions. But I'll say this. He's got no place in this investigation. Neither does any civilian, for that matter. Kathy from Texas, love and respect. Brian was never going to change who he was or the dark place he had been in for a long time. He knew she wasn't staying with him long term. Kathy, I appreciate and respect that thought. Again, this is not in any way, shape, or form a bashing of Dog the Bounty Hunter, but he shouldn't be effing with this case. We need to have the U.S. Marshals and the FBI to use all of the resources of the federal government to either bring this scumbag back dead or preferably alive. You know? And that's really what it is. So if you have leads or if you have information, call it in. I'll link the number down below. Join me tonight at 9:30 p.m. I don't think you're going to want to miss this show. It's going to be a good one. We're going to cover a lot of things and information about evidence recovery. I don't think you want to miss it. If you do miss it, please consider watching the replay. If you can, give this video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all one word. Join my Facebook, YouTube video share group and my Facebook police and crime chat group. And if you really want to get bold and brazen, send me a message on DutyRon.com and label it Join Your Discord. Unlike a lot of other Discords, you don't have to pay for it. You could just become a member of my Discord. So send me a message on DutyRon.com if you want to join my Discord group. We have conversations after the live stream there, and there's a lot of good information in my Discord. Scout Inquirer, hello from upstate New York. Always a pleasure to see you. And thank you for being channel members, subscribers. It costs nothing to subscribe. Thank you for being positive, good people in the community. I know you all just want answers to these questions. Some of the questions we don't have answers to. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Some of the things we don't have answers to, but we can sure give you the police perspective. I love you right back, Factual Breakdown. Thank you. Thank you. And love and respect to everybody here in the chat. I will see you tonight, 9:30 p.m. As I always like to say, God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. And God bless each and every one of us here in the chat. But most importantly, all victims of crime and their families across the globe. But especially Gabby Petito's family. They are going through a really rough time right now. So let's give them love, support, and strength. See you tonight. Peace from New York. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate you being here. Love and respect. Peace.